Hey guys, Taria from urbansketchingworld.com here, back with day 3 of the 7-day urban sketching at home challenge. So for today's challenge, I have chosen to do plants, and you can do this in any way you want. You can do what I'm doing, which is drawing my house plants. I'm doing this instead of drawing out in the garden because it's absolutely tipping with rain, and I really wanted to do this video today, so houseplants it is. I have, however, drawn a garden scene before, which you can check out in my videos, and I've also drawn houseplants before as well in the videos. But yeah, so you can draw anything you want regarding plants, really. So you can get out in your garden if it's warm enough. For some of you, it's winter, so probably not advisable to sit out in the garden for any length of time. But yeah, you can draw one plant, a specific plant. You can zoom in on the details. You can draw the whole plant. You can draw a group of plants, or you could draw the whole garden. Maybe you can see your garden nicely out of a window. You could draw it that way. But the focus really is on kind of like organic plant matter. So hopefully one way or another you have a garden, or you have some nice house plants to draw. I find organic things kind of more fun, I guess, to draw than say like more man-made objects like we were doing yesterday. They've just got more fun shapes. You can be a lot looser with it. You can be a lot more expressionistic. One of the upsides of urban sketching at home is the cat comes and sit on your lap. You know, don't get that when you're outside in the world. So this cat has a thing about, like, whenever I'm drawing or making art, which is basically every day, she wants to come and sit on me. So that's fine. She was keeping my lap warm, so it's okay. So here I've just drawn one of the plants, not particularly well I might add, but it was quite fun anyway. I quite liked the weird root structure and the way it was all hanging. Don't think I'm doing a good job of looking after this plant, to be honest with you. It's looking a bit sorry for itself, but anyway, it's got cool leaves. So I used a bit of white watercolour there from the Mungyo set that I have, because I thought it would bleed really nicely with the green and kind of create the pattern of the leaf that I was looking for. I was quite happy with how that kind of went, to be honest, so I was glad I tried that out. If you guys are interested in learning a bit more about white watercolour and how to use it, I do have a post over on urbansketchingworld.com all about white watercolour. It's not too long, but I think there's some kind of useful learning points in there to appreciate why white watercolour paint is included in some sets, certainly some of the cheaper sets like this Mungyo set, and how to use it, really, because there is definitely a way to use it and a way not to use it. So yeah, I'd recommend going and checking out that blog post if you're interested. But yeah, as I said, I was quite happy with how it was working with these kind of what do you call them, variegated leaves, is that right? I don't know, where they're kind of like green and white, that kind of pattern. Anyway, so yeah, I wasn't too happy with the pots on this one, but then I did just draw them super quickly and I didn't really agonize it over too much. But I quite enjoyed drawing the roots and the leaves and that kind of thing. So I think, it came out all right. As I've mentioned before, do like when you're doing this sort of thing, go back in with your darks, because as you can see, it just lifts the whole thing. So once everything's dry, go back in and make sure you're putting in shadows in the darker areas, because it's just going to make that sketch pop off the page really nicely. So yeah, I think this plant is called a Begonia rex. Yeah, my plant knowledge is not all that, but I've been enjoying buying houseplants lately. They're quite nice, especially spending more time indoors. It's nice to look at some greenery. So, I've taken these out of the bedroom and put them on the table just so I can draw them more easily for filming. But, if I was doing this challenge and not filming, I'd probably just try and leave them where they are, so they're more in their natural habitat, if That's the right thing to say because they're indoors and they should be outdoors anyway. But anyway, you know what I mean. I try and leave them where they are, just so I'm really kind of reflecting what's kind of really going on. But if you find it easier to move them, position them in better light, that kind of thing, do it. That's fine. It's all just practice. So yeah, I mean, I'm just recording here the story of my houseplants. And my collection as it's going. You know, I started off with one houseplant, now I've got 3 houseplants. It's growing all the time. It's awesome. So in this bottom left-hand corner, I've decided to do a bit of a close-up on one of the leaves because again, I really like the pattern, and I just wanted to try and do it bigger so I could try to get a bit more detail into the leaf. So I've used the white watercolor again and just tried to kind of give it. Tried to do like a wet and wet on the first go round, you know, just to try and give it that organic kind of feel. Again, that's why I really enjoy drawing plants and stuff, because you can really get quite loose with it and quite yeah, as I said, expressionistic. It's fun. So I'm going to draw across the whole 2 pages, and I haven't really planned this at all. I'm just sort of like thinking on the fly, to be honest. So is it the best designed sketchbook spread in the world? No, probably not. But you know, it's urban sketching. We just go with the flow, just see what happens. You know, it's all good. If you guys are interested in designing sketchbook spreads, I do have a blog post on that as well over on urbansketchingworld.com, where you can actually think about the concepts behind sketchbook design. Or sketchbook spread design. There are some methods to make it a bit more well composed than this one is right here, but yeah, do go and check that out as well. So over in the top right there as well, I'm sketching the plant pot, just the plant pot of one of the plants, because I really love this plant pot. It's like awesome, but I didn't have space to sketch the plant that's in it, so I thought I'd just sketch the pot, which is fine. And then this bottom one here, I'm just sketching the top of the plant. So it kind of works, you know. It's cool to have stuff that's overlapping. I really feel like the spread is, you know, it's not me trying to be all like perfect and illustrative and stuff that I'm going to scan and try and sell on Etsy and all that stuff. It's just really like, you know, me just grabbing my pen or my pencil and just kind of going for it. I don't think I noticed it so much because the video is in time lapse, but definitely with that first plant that I sketched, I started to sketch it in pencil, and I thought to myself, like, what am I doing? Like, this is just silly because I'm sketching it all with pencil and I'm going to go over in pen. And I kind of had got out of that habit, and I don't know why I'm getting back into the habit of sketching everything in pencil first. So I'm really trying to get back out of that habit. So I don't know if you noticed, but yeah, at one point I just put the pencil down and I was like, no, this is stupid. I'm get my pen. And you know, it's, you know, things are overlapping and it's not quite perfect, whatever, but that's fine. That's, you know, I'd actually prefer that to and have a bit more fun with it, you know, than try and rigorously try and draw things in pencil and then go over it in pen and all that stuff. So I do encourage you with this challenge, you know, not to get too tight with it. Try and, you know, have some fun with it. And if that, you know, if the thought of going straight to pen terrifies you, then do it. This is your sketchbook. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a record of what you're up to, what you fancy drawing at the time. So yeah, if that thought of drawing straight in pen terrifies you, then really do it. But you'll see in this, I move back and forward between my pencil and my pen. Some things I don't want to outline in pen, but I do want to mark there just so I know where I'm painting. Again, I probably could have not done that and just gone straight in with paint, but you know, I guess that's like my safety blanket, I guess. But as I was painting this, I was like, oh, okay. I started to ignore the pencil lines anyway, so, you know, that's fine. So again, I'm just trying to do like a wet and wet technique here. I don't think the paint was overly wet there, so it didn't blend too well, but on some of them it blends really nicely, like this leaf here. It just looks really nice, I think. So yeah, I'm making good use of that white watercolour and sort of mixing it and just to make a very light kind of pale green. Arguably I could do that with just with a bit of water and green, but I don't know, something in me just wanted to use that white, you know, see how it goes. I haven't practiced with it, or haven't sort of messed around with it too much. But after writing that article about white watercolor paint, I'm kind of really into it now. Just want to mess around with it. So yeah, so this plant is called a red sword, and it's because no, sorry, the flaming sword, and that's because of that red bit in the middle. Although mine's gone kind of brown now, so I don't know if it's like if it dies off or something, and maybe a new one will come back at another date. But it used to be bright red, so that's why I've done it a bit redder than it is, because it was beautiful. But yeah, it's definitely dark brown now, but oh well, I'm sure it'll come back. So yeah, I was really happy with this plant actually. I thought it was quite dramatic, which was nice. And I was really happy with the pattern on that pot as well, because I really wanted to get that. It was like a really fun, intricate pattern to draw, you know, but not too complicated. It's definitely one that I was like, oh, I can do that. I can do that. But as you can see, it's not perfect, you know, it's just like an impression. So I'm going back over this first plant and just darkening up areas just to give it a bit more impact. And then I'm just painting the shadow sort of shapes on that pot. And I decided to colour the pot with a marker rather than watercolour, and that's just to try and get a bit more control, you know, so I could leave those really fine areas where I'd painted a kind of yellow ochre, that gold kind of pattern. So I thought going with a marker might be better, just to try and keep it a bit neater, just because it is quite small detail. So I think it came out. I think it came out quite nice. This is the Faber-Castell pen with a Pitt Artist pen with the brush nib in grey. So yeah, it was quite nice and controlled to get those lines, and also adds a bit of interest to the sketchbook spread. You know, it's not all watercolor; it's sort of slightly different mediums. Just gives it another perspective. So it's not the neatest job in the world, but again, I was just trying to be not quick, but trying to be loose with it, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I remembered to put the date in this time, which I didn't on the other ones. And then I thought it'd be nice just to go around and add notes or the names of the plants and that kind of thing. Again, this is all for, like, you know, recording life really. So I think it's quite nice to add little notes, and it almost becomes almost like a little illustrated journal. So yeah, I was really happy with that, guys. And I'm just going to add in like some little white highlights in some areas with the Posca pen, and just darken up a few of the lines just to bring a few bits forward. But yeah, I'm really happy with that spread. Not the best composed thing in the world, but it was just really fun to do. So I really encourage you to grab some plants or go out in the garden or whatever, and have a go at this. And you can mix it in now. You know, I drew the plant pot as well. You can mix it up. There's no hard and fast rules, but I'm just trying to give you guys a bit of inspiration. So I really hope you've enjoyed day 3 of the 7-day urban sketching at home challenge that I'm setting you guys. I really hope that you are following along. Don't worry if you can't do this every day. I know people are busy and, you know, life goes on and that kind of thing, but when you get to it, you know, have a go. And do tag me, Urban Sketching World, over it on Instagram. So just a quick one, guys. If you've watched any of my other videos, you probably know this already, but I do have a book available for purchase. It is an ebook. It's a 60-page PDF, and it's 3 years worth of my ink and watercolor illustrations from my travels from 2017 to 2020, right up until the pandemic put a full stop on things. So I've got sketches from countries like Iran and Somalia, South Africa, Ethiopia, the UK, Germany, Australia, all kinds of countries in there. 15 different countries, I think, and yeah, over 130 of my ink and watercolor illustrations. So if you like my stuff, you like my style of illustration, I think you'll absolutely love this book. I do have a few notes in there as well, just to explain what you're looking at, or if there were a few little stories and that kind of thing. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, I also run the website urbansketchingworld.com. So there's all kinds of bits and bobs on this website, loads of articles. There you go, you can see the one on the white watercolour there. So about 65 posts and increasing on a weekly basis over here. Loads of inspiration and how-tos and all that kind of thing. So do please go check it out, guys. I'm constantly writing new posts and coming up with new ideas and new techniques, and new exercises for you guys to try. So, yeah, please do go check it out. urbansketchingworld.com. So that's it from me, guys. I will see you tomorrow with day 4 of the Urban Sketching at Home 7-day challenge.